I went to school with Sylvester Stallone. It was an all-boys high school in Manhattan, 59th Street and 10th Avenue. Right across the street from the school Kareem Abdul-Jabbar went to. And I tried to talk to him, but he didn't talk to nobody. But the fact of the matter is we played ball, and I made a bad mistake by picking somebody else against him, and we got destroyed.
Right, you should have picked him.
Yeah, I picked Dutch Westbrook because he was in Providence, and Kareem was in high school. This guy from college.
Yeah, college, yeah.
He was All-American. He was on the front of the magazine. Kareem ate him. Lord have mercy. I mean, I should have known Kareem was going to be great. But the bottom line is that that was the beginning of me recognizing I had some poetic skills because she gave me a heads up on that. And then when David and I hooked up, it was an anti-poverty program. I don't know if you remember those programs. And he was writing poetry in Spanish. I was trying to write some poetry in French. We were trying to be real slick. And so we were sharing ideas. And he said to me one day, he says, "Dude, I want to do a collective of brothers from different walks of life together, doing a group to give black folks a clear example of how we got to unify." And I thought the idea was great. But David's a romantic. And he was really coming from really trying to find a way to show how we need to have unity. And so when they killed Dr. King, I called him up and said, "David, we got to get that group together, or else I'm going to become a serial killer." And so he went and put our names on the list to read poetry on Malcolm's birthday at Mount Morris Park, May 19, 1968. And we went up on stage. There were some drummers, African drummers and dancers on stage already. And I told them to stay because I just felt like having the drum behind us would be something that we could use and work with. On Malcolm X's birthday, May 19, 1968, Garland Kane, David Nelson, who is now David Nelson, and I went on stage in Harlem. The name of the park is Mount Morris Park. And that was the park where a whole bunch of revolutionary activities took place. The park has been renamed since that time. It's now called Marcus Garvey Park. And the white folks have made a movement about 2 years ago to try to get us back to Mount Morris Park because they just couldn't stand going to a park named after Garvey. But that ain't gonna happen. They're not gonna have to change because that's just how. So we went on stage, and as I can probably say, and the rest is history. The fact is that we got our name from a South African poet named Kopetsi Kokosili. Nobody could say his first name, so he was affectionately called Little Willie. So Little Willie Kokosili had a poem about apartheid, and it was called Towards a Walk in the Sun. And in that poem, he's describing the horrendous treatment that the South African brothers and sisters went through under the apartheid system. And then at the end, you could tell he got pissed off, and in bold print, he says, "This when you hear is the birth of memory. When the moment hatches in time's womb, there will be no art talk. The only poem you will hear will be the spear point pivoted into the punctured mouth of the villain, and the timeless native sun dancing like crazy to retrieve rhythms of desire fading in the memory." And then David Nelson added, "Therefore we are the last poets of the world." It's a done deal. It's right there. And I always tell people, if you want to get a visual of what the group's about, and what our philosophy is about, see the movie called The Battle of Algiers. When the Revolutionary Army went out and told the pimps, "You got 2 weeks to clean up and get your hoes off the street because we're getting ready to have a revolution." And they told the drug dealers, "You got 2 weeks to stop selling drugs and get your drug guys off the street. We're getting ready to have a revolution." They said, "Yeah, okay. And they didn't take them seriously. When they came back, drugs were being sold, pimps were still hoeing, they got blown away. And I said, that's exactly what's gonna happen when you hit the last post. I said, I'm not gonna shoot you with a bullet. I said, my mouth is a gun and my words are bullets, and I'll blow you away. And what did we wage war against? We didn't wage war against white people. That's elementary. They're already sick. We're not trying to do nothing with them. We had to wage war against niggers, against the negative element in us that's stopping us from being unified. When we're unified, you can't touch us. We know what it's like when we're together. When we have a party, we got collard greens and chicken and potato salad. We ain't asking Mr. Susie and them to come to our party. And we having a good time. When they killed Dr. King, I felt offended. I felt totally offended because I knew he stood for peace.
Were you a follower of Dr. King? I mean,
no, I wasn't a follower. My parents were.
I know the
My parents were followers. And my mother had, matter of fact, to the point when he made that speech in '63, my mother had me touching the television. Like I was gonna get some kind of spiritual guidance from that. I mean, it was amazing because she believed he was like an angel.
Right.
I mean, he was a special person,
Right.
and we cannot deny that he was outrageously special. But the philosophy of turn the other cheek, my father used to tell me, if somebody puts their hands on you, don't just hit them back, break the hand that touches you. So if every time they look at that cast, they'll know why they have a cast on their hand. And so consequently, my name in elementary school was Panic. I didn't know how to fight, but I would freak out and hurt you badly. I'm not the person you want to fight with. I'm a nice guy. I don't want to hurt nobody, but I didn't know how to control myself. Once I got into it, it was a wrap. I had 2 fights that I remember. One in elementary school, one in high school. Both of the guys 2 years older than me, I beat the daylights out of them just because they put their hands on me. I'm not to be touched. But then I called David Nelson because I knew him, and he was older, and I was hanging out with older guys because I wanted information. Just like all my girlfriends were 4 or 5 years older, I wanted to know something. I wanted knowledge, and I would hang out with sisters that had information. I couldn't deal with no sister my age who did about less than I knew. I wanted knowledge, I wanted wisdom, I wanted to be a man before it was time to be a man. So I was trying to get information. But like I was telling people at the Pan-African Center last night, I had to read a bunch of books. I had to read more books to be a revolutionary poet than I did to be a good student in college. I had to read Chancellor Williams' Destruction of Black Civilization, Howard Cruz's Crisis of Negro Intellectual, Wretched of the Earth by Franz Fanon, Moon 2 by Han Tanyans. I had to read The Prophet by Khalil Gibran. I had to know these books because I was dealing with brothers who were quoting these guys. Say, well, you heard what Chancellor Williams said on page 335 in Destruction. I said, I ain't never seen the book. I don't know what 335 looks like. So it was like me getting a crash course in revolutionary literature real quick so I could have a conversation. And that really drove me. And that made me realize that you have to have knowledge before you go with your face. You got to